Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Have a seat.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Mochama, aka Smita Smitten. Welcome to the Tipsy Writers show.
Fine. I already feel tipsy just being here.
Nimekutafuta sana. Nimekutafuta sana.
Patrick Kariuki, aka PK. We've known each other for forever.
A rocker.
The rocker.
Yes.
Yes.
Have a drink first.
A drink?
To for the long journey.
I can't remember the last time I said no to a drink.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless it's milk.
Unless it's what?
Milk.
No, it's not milk.
Oh!
This is high quality craft beer. 5.5%.
Cheers.
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 Tony, without further ado, I want to jump into your life story.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Tony the man.
Okay.
Let's start with your birth. When were you born? Where were you born? What were the circumstances of that birth?
If
you can remember.
No, I feel like this is
What?
Trump with Obama.
Yes.
Yeah. Saying, were you born in Kenya? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We need to know. We need to know.
My birth was like the one for Mufasa. And the lion.
Oh, they held you up.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the hospital.
Yeah.
They
The next top writer.
They held me up.
Yeah.
Then I peed on the doctor's face.
Seriously.
Yes.
We don't have time for that.
Okay.
Continue.
No, I was just born in Nairobi in Mater Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, a long time ago.
All right.
Yeah.
Was Jomo Kenyatta the president?
Yes, Jomo Kenyatta was still the president of Kenya.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So tell me about your childhood, about your family, just briefly. You know,
I'm not
where you grew up.
Yes. I'm a Nairobi West guy.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we call ourselves not Westie. Right now we're in Westlands, Westie.
Right.
But I'm a West guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Born and bred.
Right.
Yeah. Or reared.
Okay.
I don't know.
Like a
Yeah.
like a chicken.
Like a chicken. It was fantastic. Yeah, it's true. Like a chicken sort of. Because it's those neighborhoods you run around.
Yes.
You fight, you grow up.
Yes.
Like a proper childhood.
Yeah. Any good memories from childhood, like
Yeah. No, my entire childhood. I have a book called Meet the Umtitas.
Okay. Oh, that's about your familia.
It's about my childhood, sort of.
Right.
A moment in time, 1990.
Right.
So I've just fictionalized.
Right.
I've fictionalized
Right.
1 month.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the
Way
best
back.
story from Meet the Umtitas?
No, it's a novella.
It's a novella.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
The hero.
For those who do not understand.
Yeah. It's
Like me.
Yes. It's like it's not a short story.
Right.
And it's not quite a novel.
Right.
So it's like halfway there. You see, it's only 132 pages.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All
it's fictionalized.
All right.
So, yeah.
Sawa.
Yes.
Clearly, you are like just glossing over your childhood. So I will leave that alone. How did you transition from your childhood into Starehe Boys Center? Tell me that story.
Yeah.
And tell me about Starehe Boys Center. What that was like. Being under Griffin.
Yes. I transitioned by just having really good grades in KCP.
Obviously.
Yes. And I chose Starehe because it had a lot of clubs.
Right.
Like what won me over.
Right.
Because my mom wanted me to go to Strathmore,
right.
which is also an excellent school.
Right.
But Starehe had the school newspaper.
Right.
Called Scan.
Right.
It had a school newspaper.
Right.
And it had a theater.
Right.
Yeah.
It had a theater.
It had a theater.
Right.
Yeah, proper theater at Starehe Boys. So between that and then, and then we founded, I'm proud to say we founded like the debating society in Starehe in Form 2. So for me, I loved Starehe because it had so many extracurricular activities geared specifically towards my interests. Like already, that's where I first thought like I may become a journalist. Even if, I did end up with a degree in law, but it was my first, I was the school newspaper editor, I was the president of the debating society which we founded, we were doing musicals. So my life wasn't really like in the class, I didn't mind class. Okay, I minded things like chemistry, it's a mystery, everything, isotopes and so on, but I liked that school had so many like extracurricular activities, and I was a bit of a rebel, a lot of a rebel. I
got into a few scripts.
Yeah, like I sold Playboy, the magazine in Starehe. Griffin was so mad. He was so mad, like that was in Form 2. So that was my biggest transgression.
Where the heck did you get Playboy from?
That time Isili wasn't like the Somalified. This was the early 90s.
Right.
The Civil War had quite kicked off.
Right.
You know, that's 1991.
Right.
Then that's when the flood of Somalis came and took over Isili. But
Right.
already there were some who were there, but those were the entrepreneurs before any Muslim or Islamic element had checked in.
Right.
And there was a day bag.
Right.
So, and I had a friend called Sly Katua. He wasn't called Sly for nothing. He was Sylvester, but he was like, there are these mugs. So as a day boy, you know, you buy them cheap, then you'd rent them. You'd rent out these Playboys, and Griffin was not amused. The great Griffin was not amused.
But somehow you didn't get expelled.
No, by then, Griffin caned the hell out of me. He caned the hell out of me.
Right.
I got a famous beating.
Right.
But no, there was no point. Why expel me? For
selling Playboy?
Boyish entrepreneurship.
Anyway.
Print skills.
Let's move on.
Yes.
Let's move on. So, you know, you sold Playboy. You were a founder or
the debating society.
Right.
And throughout, I won a lot of competitions,
Right.
like national, like letter writing. That was in Form 1. I cleaned out a lot of prizes for Staré, and I think that's partially why I was a Griffin favorite. I wasn't the favorite of many teachers, but Griffin liked me because of my early proficiency in the English language.
Right.
Yeah.
Well.
And I did top, and that was Staré. I did top English throughout.
You are top in English throughout?
Yeah,
Okay.
English specific.
Okay, very well. So you're so good in English, but then obviously you passed your KCSE, you go to the University of Nairobi to study law.
Yes.
Why not literature?
There was a hierarchy of prestige at the time. Yeah. So you choose, there was cluster. So you choose, of course, the highest for like my cluster points with English, history, CRE, like that. My cluster points, the highest degree there was law, in terms of the most points needed. So I did choose literature, but it was, I think it was my second choice. Yeah.
So did you?
You know, you do like that. You had to choose your four,
right?
Because you don't know what you'll get in the exam.
Right. So then you got called into law school.
Yes. Yeah.
You graduated.
Yes.
At what point did the switch in your mind happen that no, I'm not going to be a lawyer, I'm going to be a writer?
It sort of happened accidentally, because when I was suspended for at the end of my first year.
Why were you suspended?
I wish I could say it was like politics, or people were getting like Hassan Omar were getting suspended for like being anti-Moi or whatever. I was suspended because the professors I didn't used to like there was a guy teaching us like contract law. I would write poems in block letters, then I would stick them, photocopy them and stick them like on the notice board, like just mocking guys, like PLO is now my friend. Yeah? I would say he's a fatuous ass. Or the boring professor, I call him like Professor Piriton. Yeah?
Hold on.
Like that.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. So you would write poems about people you didn't like? And then stick them on the university notice boards?
Yes.
Did you sign your name on the poems?
No. It was like V. If you have watched the movie V, I would strike and just, it was like a vendetta. And they would really amuse people because they've got, that time there were no like WhatsApp, forwards.
Yes.
Yeah, we are talking
exactly.
like.
That was the WhatsApp of back then.
I mean, within university.
Pretty much.
And guys, but I was a bit foolish because after a while, everyone used to know like, this guy can write girls' poems, this guy. So I was like, even if I wrote in block letters, Ojuang,
bro,
I don't know.
You should have typed.
Eh?
Typewriter.
Yes.
You wrote with your hand.
I used to write with block. Like those, like these guys.
Yeah. That was genius.
So that was poetry.
Yeah.
That was like graffiti poetry.
Right.
Yeah.
So then you got discovered and got expelled.
No,
suspended.
I got suspended for like 6 months.
Right.
But then after that, there was a strike for 6 months. Right. So during that time, now you're idle. You're not going to class, you're not really doing anything. So I said, why can't I be writing for newspapers? Like I had seen a few letters to the editor on the issues of the day appear. The politics of the day, the politics of Kanu that time. I thought, why can't I? So I very boldly went, in a very naive way, like to Nation. They're like, I can write. I was thrown out very fast. I tried with Standard, I tried with Kenya Times. So I ended up working for, what they call the pink papers?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Back then.
Gata Press.
The Gata. Yeah, so I worked for Gata Press.
Like,
and it was a very crazy, like there was, I think, Kenya Confidential. Right. I remember they used to have like there used to be green sheets on Monday, blue on Wednesday, and pink on Friday. So it was actually the pink papers. And they would have just crazy stories like the NC Musalia guy, that Musalia has impregnated, I don't know, a housemaid. Just pure libel and defamation. And the owners, I would be sent even to Parliament. I remember meeting Hanil to solicit, to tell them they would have talked. Those days, they would have talked. The owner, God bless, will enjoy his soul. It was an entrepreneur. So I'll be saying, and then I go, like, you go to Parliament, you meet somebody, you get 14K, you come back, you give it to the boss, he gives you like 2,000. Yeah, it was seedy.
I remember Kenya Confidential actually. I think at the time I was in high school. Anyway, no matter. So then I'm still interested in your progression from the back streets of journalism into the mainstream press.
Yeah. Then I met David McCulley, and he's the man most responsible. I met him. Then McCulley seemed to have his ear on the ground everywhere. He was a remarkable person. Yeah. So he had my name. He said, haven't I seen that name? He said, in some crappy papers. He said, but the writing, there's something there. So he had something called Expression today. Yeah. So he said, why are you writing garbage? So he told me, come, I teach you journalism. Yeah, and that's how I just ended up, those even riots of 99, those, anti-Kanu, this, that. I met Wakina Orengo then. Then Kivutha was already my teacher and so on. I started doing poetry at Tufungamano and Koeth, but I was now writing for Expression today, and it was respectable. Yeah, it was a funded thing. It was high quality journalism with Wakina Nganga, the names who were there, Nganga Mbugo and so on. Yeah, so stone rubs on stone. So it sort of became self-taught. Yeah, and under Macaulay, because you just tell me this is how you write, this is how you do. Macaulay actually apprenticed me. He's the guy who trained me for 2 years, and within 2 years, I was good enough to become a freelancer for Nation.
And your education?
Yeah, my education, the suspension ended, but now I was going to class, but you see, it wasn't full-time. I started getting columns like in Nation, the cultures of the week, and so on. Okay. So
but you did graduate as a lawyer?
Yes. Eventually.
Okay, very good. So then, how did you jump into the Standard?
Not with flying colors.
Oh, really? Okay. So how did you jump into the Standard?
First time I went to Russia.
Right.
I got a scholarship to go to Russia for 18 months to do a diploma in Russian literature through a guy called Professor Mikhail. I met him through Kwani.
Hold on.
So I finished. Yeah. So before I go to Standard, so I go for this 18 months.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Hold on.
Yes.
I'm interested in the timeline of your career. Kenya Confidential, Expression Today, Nation.
1998, 1999, 2000, 2001.
Right.
I graduated in 2001.
Right.
So, yeah. Then Russia came calling.
So how did the Russia connection come up? Was it through?
In 2000, through Mikhail.
How did you meet this Mikhail professor?
I met him at Kwani.
Okay.
Yeah, Kwani had, Binyavanga had just come back.
Yeah, he had won the award.
He had won the award. Mikhail is married to like a Maasai.
Right.
And Ukrainian woman.
Yeah.
Nice. I think his birthday was the other day. I think he's 65. Yeah. So we are talking like 20 years ago. He was like 45.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when I met him, we really bonded with him. Like I'd always had an interest in Russia and so on. We really connected. Like that time I was a young man. So he was like, I don't know, an uncle.
Right.
Like a father is my mentor.
Right.
To date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's to Russia.
Yeah. Nastarovia. That's what I say.
Nastarovia.
Nastarovia.
Right.
Nastarovia.
Carry on.
Yeah, so I went to Russia. Yeah. I did to Hazen University. I did my diploma.
Okay.
I got short of a woman.
Are you tanking? You look like you're tanking in terms of your enthusiasm is you know.
No.
Yeah.
No, sorry, maybe it's because I was about to tell you I got shot in Russia. That's why. Perhaps my voice was dropping.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, I saw you did. I think it was on Magunga's website. You wrote a poem about being shot. So it was actually a real thing.
What did I write? Oh yeah, you thought it's persona? No, I was shot right here.
In Russia.
Yes, they wanted to, and the guy wanted to blow away my fundamentals because I was with the wrong woman. One of my classmates,
right,
was the side chick of this mobster called George. George, we used to call, later on I learned he was called Mafia George. Yes. So I was shot at a restaurant like this, and the girl jumped over. I was shot at an open air restaurant. It was called the Shinik.
Okay. Continue.
Yes.
So it blew part of your leg off or what?
No,
your thigh?
No. It penetrated my thigh, but that wasn't the target. Because the guy told me, Tonya, you'll never fuck anything again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank God he missed.
Yeah, thank God he missed.
Yes.
Or maybe Ludwig dodged, who knows?
Yeah, sorry?
No, it's okay. Or maybe there was a Keanu Reeves moment. Something doing good.
So then you got shot, then they take you to hospital?
Yeah, then surgery. Then yes. I was out in 4 days.
So you were dating a Russian mobster's side chick?
Yes.
In Russia?
I didn't know. I'd asked her, and I mean, I was like a pretty girl like you. There were warning signs, like she had a nice flat in a nice area. I think she was just jungle fever, black curious. But she had very vaguely mentioned at the start,
right?
Like, she said, not to worry about boyfriends. It's Moscow business. Yeah. If I hear Moscow business today, PK, I'd advise you we both jump.
Yeah. No, I don't mess with
like
those
Natasha,
Russians. I don't mess with those Russians.
Yeah.
Okay, very well. So anyway, you get shot in Russia, you survive, you come back home, then you jump into the Standard?
Yeah, because Macaulay had just become like a boss then.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. So as soon as I came back, he
yes.
was here like, I've been looking for you,
Yes. So it looks like David Macaulay has had a profound influence on your career.
Yes.
And he's the one who opened the door for you.
He did.
Into journalism in general.
Yes.
And the East African Standard in particular.
Yes.
Now, the East African Standard is a very good newspaper.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Who has, other than Macaulay, who else would you like to mention?
Kwamcheti Makoa.
Okay.
Yeah. He was rough on me.
Yeah.
He used to like asking me, with his, he has like a soft voice, but he's not a soft man.
Yes.
Say, Mochama,
yeah.
You're urinating all over the pages. What copy is this?
But he's a fellow Starehian anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was very useful too.
All right.
So between those two lawyer gentlemen, cosmopolitan in their own way, David Macaulay, call him the chief, and Kwamcheti Makoha. Yes. I used to call him the devil.
The what?
The chief and the devil. Like good cop, bad cop.
Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah,
all right.
Sort of,
So let's dive into what you write about as a journalist. What do you write about? And why do you write about it? Okay. Like, why do you select the stories that you select?
Okay, first I have columns.
Yeah.
So those ones it's a gig, like they're long running Smita.
Yeah.
So that one is a societal, sort of like I can't quite say gossip, but it's about places, celebrities, or elevated mchongoano. Yeah. So that
with its own lingo.
with its lingo,
Yes.
with
Yeah.
with its especially its
Russian-inspired lingo.
suffixes. Ski,
Yes.
ski, ski. Like I'm very proud. The 3 words I can say I've contributed to Kenya: Kibandaski, Vodoski, and pigs.
And pigs is you?
Yes, it's not Boni Mwangi.
Oh.
It's just that he took pigs to parliament.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
But pigs, eh? And
Yeah.
I remember even sending me a message. He was like, hey, "That's a very funky term."
Right.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
now we
Yes.
know.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. And pigs is mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope the sound quality is good. Moving on. So you write about this stuff. Continue. I want to know why you write the stories you write, and how you select them.
Yes.
Because you have a particular focus on lifestyle,
Yes.
on gossip, and once in a while you dabble in politics. So what drives you as a journalist?
I find we don't document ourselves enough. Yeah. Places have come and gone, like even the street we are. Remember opposite. Yeah. There was places like the Havana.
Havana, yes.
Havana was right here.
Yeah.
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 Like Havana is legendary.
It's still right here.
It's still there.
Yes, it's
Havana
still
is
there. It's
there.
open. It's open. You can go there after this for a quick one if you want.
Oh yes, yes. Oh.
It's open. It's over there.
Yes. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
But this street used to be like Electric Avenue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Many of the other
So-
places are dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 So I've always been interested, like in that what I call nocturnal cartography, and that's what like my book Night Runner was just a putting together of that.
Where's that book?
Here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sawa.
This
Yes.
nocturnal cartography.
Right.
Just how do we enjoy ourselves when we are alive? How do we entertain ourselves? You know, like in terms of lifestyle. Because Kenya is a party place. Yeah, I think it's such a hard country. You know, we can be a working nation. I think we're a working nation and a drinking nation, like that. So I've always been interested in archiving that, even if you're at a weekly basis. So that's one reason I select, like such stories. Like currently I'm working on like dangerous places in the CBD. There've been a lot of, so where is it you are likely to get, like mugged, your purse snatched, robbed, for example. And such stories. And then politics is, Kenya, especially in this season, it's such a high frenzy activity. Yeah, it's an all-devouring beast, politics. So it's something else that I'm also very sort of
Okay.
how power works. Yeah, but I
Right.
know we'll talk about that later.
We will.
Yes.
Tell me about this name, Smitta. What does it mean? How did you come up with it?
Actually, Smita
Yeah.
was a fat Indian woman, a third-rate journalist, TV journalist, in a British program called Goodness Gracious Me, yeah, that used to show on KBC. I don't know, everybody knew Mind Your Manners.
Fat Indian woman.
Yes.
That's not very politically
Plum.
correct.
Okay, she was an enlarged Homo sapien of southeastern extraction. Is that better?
Perhaps.
Yes, yeah. An enlarged Homo sapien.
Yeah.
Female.
Right.
Southeast Asian.
Yeah. Continue.
So, Smita, she wasn't the main character, but she was always trying to meet celebs. She would never meet anybody. British celebrities, Indians, so she'd be hiding out like in toilets, trying to climb walls with all, She was very comical. So when I was told by Wayu Amuli that I should do a column, like for celebrities, like a gossip column, so I said, can I use a pen name? No, Munyao said, and you use a pen name. So I was like, no, what pen name? I said, I probably won't meet anybody. Yeah? Remember, this was the early 2000s. There were big stars, but I'm like, where will I be? It looked like such a hard assignment. The big names, the namelesses, the Longombas. Isa was already dead.
Okay.
Yeah, Pulse had just started. Pulse had just started.
Okay.
Isa died like 6 months before. Very sad. So I said, I'll just be like Smita. I won't meet anybody. Why will they talk to me?
The large Asian woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, who never meets anyone.
Right. Right.
She's Smita.
Yes, and then then the hat. You have the hat.
Now that was it. To add a bit of intrigue,
Yeah.
because I was thinking that I need to be a serious journalist.
Right.
So I was thinking this is so much fluff.
Yeah.
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 I still had ideas about it, like this serious, hardball.
Or you thought you
journalism.
would like to win a Pulitzer or something.
Oh man, who knows? Yeah.
To Pulitzer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I was like, I'll hide my identity and then I'll use this pseudonym. So that's how it came about. Yeah. To Pulitzers.
Right.
But maybe I can win a Pulitzer. Ile ya kupuliza. Like you blow balloons, you're like, yeah.
Let's stay on course. Okay, fine. So that's the background of Smita. Okay, fine. Smita is one of the longest, in my estimation. In the 90s, we had Whispers. Okay. In the 80s, we had Masharubu. In the 2000s, we had Smita. In the 2000 plus, we still have Smita. This guy is not retiring. Where do you get the juice from? And do you have any plans of handing over, to an upcoming bright young person?
No, you see, these are not things. I'm not occupying any space.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I just have a Friday place.
Right.
Yeah. There's so many spaces these days. People are doing so many things these days.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not really like a monopoly, like some hallowed, page 7 spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm forever young at heart.
Yeah.
I feel young. I still hang out a bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and it's not something I can tell you, PK Chukua.
Yeah.
It's not a craft beer.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's unique to me.
Yeah.
So for as long as we've had guys like Daoud, they've written their diary forever.
Yeah.
I think it's the longest running. I think it's from the 80s,
Right.
if not 70s.
Probably it's over 20 years old.
It's over 20 years.
Yeah. Sergeant's diary.
Yeah.
It's old.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but it was back then in the 80s.
That's what I'm saying. It's over 20 years old.
No, it's over 40.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's 30 something. Yes.
Yeah, it's old. It's
Yes.
old. Yes.
So for me, with Smita,
Yeah.
Smita is still a teenager.
Very well.
Yes.
Okay.
Smita it hasn't even hit its 20th year. Smita is 17.
Sawa.
They just got sweet 6. Smita got sweet 16 and kissed.
What is the state of journalism in Kenya?
Ironically, as people struggle more for readership or circulation, it's struggling. And even advertising is really being hard fought for. Ironically, the newspapers have never been so good. That's the irony. The typical newspaper, whether our Standard these days or Nation, or even like People, they have never been so good in terms of quality writing, in terms of quality content. It's ironic. They have never been so good. And daily, they have become very interesting. Newspapers are great. They have never been so good. And I'm not just saying that. It's something, even from inside the newsroom, I've seen the way, because guys are not desperate. So the best is being demanded. Papers look good. But ironically, in inverse proportion, so the better they look, the more they struggle for circulation. Mostly because, the smartphone has been a very devastating sort of like feature. Yeah, because, Kenyans are reading, but they are reading, like forwards, the whole day, when they go through WhatsApp groups and so on. Yeah, guys are on their phones. Even people never used to read. But the vast majority is reading very trite stuff. Yeah. They're reading junk. It's not stuff that is likely, it's like we used to read joke books when you are younger the whole day. Or all you are reading was joke books. So there's a creativity going on, like, Kenyans are very creative with memes and so on. But it's, in the end, beyond a laugh.
Did you say memes?
Memes. Memes.
We'll go with memes.
Your memes.
So,
That betrays me, eh?
Yeah, your meme betrays you.
I don't know your name.
So,
yes, to watermelons.
Absolutely. So, here's the thing. The quality of the journalism has never been better, but the circulation is struggling.
Yeah.
So, 10 years from now, will we have newspapers in this country? In your estimation, in your view?
You know, I've written a book called 2063.
Okay.
It's futuristic.
Okay.
Because it's set in 2063.
Right.
It's hard to tell what form journalism will be.
Yeah.
It's very hard to tell, like in 2030, what it will look like.
Well, the government is doing its best to kill journalism, in my view, by denying it revenues. You know.
Well, yeah, there's the current politics of, creating agencies to manage. So, but I would say, but people are still pretty. If you read the newspapers, maybe there's that perception, but they're still pretty free. When you read, you actually get
freedom of journalism, freedom of speech, all that is there.
Yes.
This country is doing very well. But financially, the newspapers are being strangled, correct? So, does an aspiring journalist have any hope of writing for the Standard in future?
See,
or should they?
First, I believe, even this government, I believe now it's civic duty. It is a duty. There is BBC, there is KBC. I think there should be revenue set aside, even for these private enterprises, whatever arrangement they make, that the government pours in a lot of advertising, even into paper, so that they are cheaper. This is not Serikali's idea. It's a model that's already being used elsewhere, like Canada. Just to keep information, to stop us sinking into a morass of trade. Because if newspapers go, those aspiring journalists are talking, people don't know what's going on. It will just be fake news, then there are things online, you can't tell, there needs to be things that are more authoritative, that their veracity can be verified.
Speaking of authoritativeness.
Yes.
Newspapers are competing with people like Edgar Obare, people like Kahawatungu, people like Cyprian Nyakundi to break news.
No, but let's be serious. You can't compare. I wish I had a copy of today's paper. You can't compare. I wish I actually had a copy. But look at your Daily Nation or your Standard. Really. Then look at, forget those breaking news. That's entertainment. Yes, it's news, entertainment, sleaze. Edgar Obare serves UT, and it's on one limited topic. You say, oh, Joho did this. But as you say, what's the politics in Coast like? What's Pwani really up to?
Right.
If it's politics, when you go deeper, you find it's business. Is Kahatungu telling you that? About, how retailers are going down or whatever is going on? No.
Right.
So they're not, it's not that they are competing.
So there will always be room for mainstream media. And aspiring journalists should not despair.
It depends how many there are. If there are too many, some should despair.
Okay.
But guys have to also become content creators, like we are doing.
Yes. Yes.
People also like you are doing.
Yes. Very well. What is your most memorable article as a journalist?
An article? Oh yeah. Maybe because I was young. I'm not saying it's the best, but there was, when I was among my very early articles, I remember there was one I wrote about when there were Eastern European, like brothels in the country.
Right.
Like in 2004. And I, no pun intended, but I penetrated into that strange world. And I wrote that story for Society. And another memorable one, which was very sad about, was I helped to shut down the sachet culture in Kenya. Because Martha Karua ran and used that one even in parliament. Those sachets that were 10 bob.
Right.
I did a very thorough, I remember it was like in society.
Safari Cane, Sapphire.
Yes, those ones. Sapphire, Maricane and all.
Yeah.
My article helped.
Tulizikunywa
Yeah, and they were very...
in campus.
Yes, I had a girlfriend who Don Smith, now Fly 540, but then he owned the Size Club. He caught out my then college girlfriend because he used to say, how come when we show up at Size, we are sober and she's a 34D, and by the end of the night, we are both wasted, we just drank soda, and she's like size 28.
Yeah. No. Cheers to that. Cheers to that.
Yes.
I understand. So you helped Mother Karua. You gave Mother Karua material,
Ammunition. Unwilling.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just desperate to do a unique story.
Yes. And that was a service to society.
Not unintentional.
Oh, it just.
Yeah. I mean, like 10 bob sachets at that time were wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know they were like this.
Yeah, we consumed them quite a bit.
Yes, yeah, mumunya, you just do it.
Kabisa.
Or you carry those small scissors and you keep. Yeah.
Before my cut,
Yes.
you know, actually I would walk into the exam room with Mickens dry gin in a 20 bob sachet.
Yes. Yeah. I remember that one. Yeah, the black one.
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
boy.
yes,
Of
yes.
course,
No, gin was dry. Then there was the black one, Mickens Ram.
Mickens Ram.
Yes.
Hey, Mickens Ram was bad news.
Yeah, I remember, man. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Memories are made of Mickens.
Yes, that was Tony the author. That was Tony the journalist. Tony the author. All right. You have a few books here. We're going to feature them later.
Yes.
You know, we'll make sure that our audience, you know, we'll preview them.
Yes.
But please give me a quick rundown of all the books you've written and a quick synopsis.
Okay. My first book, 2007, was What If I'm a Literary Gangster?
Yes.
It's a collection of poetry. My poetry, personal poetry.
Right.
Yeah. The next book is 2009. It's called The Road to Eldoret and Other Stories. So it starts off with a PEV, but it's got other short stories.
It was inspired by the post-election violence.
Yes,
Right.
that one.
Right.
The third one is 2011, Princess Adis and the
Niger Coco Brothers.
Coca Brothers,
Yeah.
inspired by Akinyi and Chinedu.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and actually gave Akinyi, it's not positive.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she read it or she didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Because I told her this book is inspired by you at Deep West.
Yeah.
Then like 3 months later, by mistake we landed there and I was thinking, she gonna kill me.
Yeah.
But she was so happy. She said, hey, you are the one who wrote for me a book about me. Yeah. It's a crime book. It portrays her crazy. And she bought me a whole bottle of vodka. So like, she never even read, bitch never even opened the book. Yeah. She took it, it's about, yeah. And I made sure I gave it to her when I was leaving Deep West.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Continue.
Yes. Oh yeah. And then the next book is Meet the Umtitas.
Yes.
I've already told you about this.
Yes.
2013.
Yes.
Then 2014 is I've already told you about the Night Runner's Guide.
Yes.
About nightlife in Nairobi City.
Yes.
So 2014. And then there's this one, 2016.
You wrote poetry for schools.
Modern poetry for secondary schools.
Okay. All right. Okay. At least you've done something for the kids.
Yes, and they have won bad prizes. There's one I haven't carried called Ran Cheche Ran. It won like a regional award called the BAT Award for young adult literature. So the Bayal, a Canadian prize, but for the so that's Ran Cheche Ran. Yeah, and it's a motivational, but it's a very crazy story about a girl who, like, you know, she can really run, and she wants to go to Montreal for those students. Our Kenyan sort of running thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but she has to run from a lot of things. So it's action-packed.
Okay.
Then there's the next. I wrote another one called A Jacket for Ahmed for terrorism, but we had a disagreement with the EAEAP. So it's coming out this year.
Oh, I see.
I wrote it, but I didn't like the terms, what they were doing. So Oxford is removing it later this year.
Okay.
Yeah, then there's 2063.
Tell me about this one.
This one.
What's the premise of that book?
This book,
Yeah.
First it was inspired by an ex-wife who we parted primarily because she became a gambler, a proper one. Okay? Corporate woman, well compensated. Her mother passes away, she gets into gambling. So when I'm trying to show her support, gambling is not my thing. But I end up at casinos. I got to know casinos,
Yes.
especially there at captains and senator.
Yeah.
I got to know them. I got to know gamblers. I
Yes.
got to know the regulars because I would sit at the pub.
Yes.
Eh?
While she's gambling.
Yeah, they're not
Right.
interested. That's why they give them free food and alcohol. They never take it.
Right.
They gamble. They're either happy or they're depressed. They go. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I know we have a casino right in this room.
Yes, we do.
If you entered there, you'd
Yeah.
see what I'm saying. So while I was there,
Yeah.
me being me, I figured out, well, I'm here. I didn't think it would be a book, but I started sort of like taking notes, about that. And then I won a prize called the Miles Moreland because I had an idea, a vague idea, like how to do a gambling book. But because it's Miles Moreland, you have to give a unique idea. I said, why can't it be both gambling but also very futuristic? So that it's a world plausible but far removed from ours.
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I set it far in the future with extrapolated technologies.
So who is
climate
president in
change.
2063?
Eh?
Who is president in 2063?
It's a circular. Alfred Mutua becomes president in 2032.
Right.
So and we have a civil war
Right.
in 2042.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a system of government. I sort of played around with my law background. It's very Swiss. It's something that suggested in Lancaster House a long time ago. So we have a rotational presidency.
Right.
Yeah.
The canton system.
That one.
Very well.
Fantastic, yes.
Okay. Of all your books, your favorite?
Honestly.
None. They're all
Yes,
like your children.
They're like, no, children, sometimes you can have a favorite.
Okay.
Kids, you can have a favorite.
Yeah.
Books, it's impossible. Because, and especially for me, because I write across genres. I mean, look at all these books. There's no two books are the same. So I don't practice in one genre.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They're all your favorites.
No, they're not my favorites. I'm trying to tell you, I don't practice in one genre. I write like fiction, I write non-fiction. I've written a book about the night. You see, it's like comparing,
Right.
not in apples and oranges.
But what I'm trying to get at,
Yes.
if you're going to solitary confinement, which one book would you take with you?
I'll take 2063.
There you go.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because it's the fattest. Or I would even take this one.
Yes.
Because it has the most incidents.
Yes.
So this I'll take for literature.
Yes.
This I'll take to remember my life as a free man.
Okay.
Yes.
Sawa. It's a good answer. All right. Are there any characters in your life, real people, who have inspired, not characters, people who have inspired the characters in your books?
I told you.
You
this
mentioned Mutua.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Chinedu.
Chinedu.
Princess Adis and Chinedu and
Okay,
Akin.
redundant question.
Yes.
I think you already answered it.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about poetry. You wrote a poem called Let's Give War a Chance.
Yeah, give war a chance.
Tell me about it. Do you have it here? Okay. no worries.
But I've written so many poems. And let me just say,
Yeah.
with poetry,
Yeah.
we are there with the spoken word right
Yeah.
from the start.
Yes.
We have given workshops like in Venice.
Yes.
I've been a poet in residence in
Yes.
Venice with Carfoscar University.
Yes.
And this specifically poetry, we've done a residence in Spain
Right.
and in 2016. And in 2019, we did GOEF. We did a 3-week program training Namibian poets in the art of poetry. Yeah. So, and of course we have the book for the schools, because I got fed up of guys saying the poetry is hard in schools. This is one of those things people say. What's so hard about poetry? But when I looked at the texts, I was like this. And I got a teacher to help me called Kennedy Muriuki. So Kariuki, I got this guy Muriuki to help me.
Yes.
I'm trying to be poetic here. To cook this. Because it's a very good book for high schools. For no one should say poetry is hard and it's contemporary. So so poetry for me is just something. It's within. Poetry is about like your psychology, and there's a darkness and a lightness to it.
There is.
There is. Yeah.
Talking about the darkness of poetry, you know, you've had a dark experience with a fellow poet.
Yes.
Or I should say
Poetess.
Poetess.
Yes.
Her name is Shailja Patel.
Yes.
She accused you of
Yes.
sexual molestation.
Yes.
Of course, the issue went to court, and you are not only acquitted, you are awarded damages. And then she subsequently left the country rather than pay you.
Yeah.
So, briefly,
Wait, let's don't forget your question. Let me just correct something there.
yes,
I shouldn't go to court.
okay,
The CID found it to be malicious.
okay,
They went to the DPP's office.
right,
She enlisted the help of some NGO with links to Professor Wambui Mwangi.
right,
So the two of them, they tried a campaign. DPP's office told them this is malicious aforethought, wrote them a letter. So I was never taken to court because the investigation was already like this malicious. Yeah? And it was investigations by women. Yeah? No man handled those cases. I took them to court because what could I do? Shoot them in the head? No. Yeah. So I took them to court, for their defamation, and they tried to escape justice for 5 years. Mara who has traveled, Mara who is sick, Nini trying to wear out like our witnesses. They had no witnesses. Patel, and yet I was supposed. It was a poetry party, afternoon, in an open courtyard with 12 people, some internationals. So that's why they were so vague throughout. So let's get that straight. I was never taken to court, ever. They were dismissed. Like, hii kitu, hakuna kitu. This is malicious. And then the court punished them for 9 million. By now they owe like over 10 because of interest. Yeah. So let's get that right.
So you took them to court?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very well.
Case number 315
Yeah.
of 2015.
Which you won?
Yes. 9 million.
9 million shillings.
Yes.
And rather than pay the 9
Damages.
million shillings, she left the country.
Patel is like a rat. Yeah? She's a vagabond. She's somebody who has accused her own father of strange things. We found out. She's a rotten scoundrel. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah? She went to London. She said Boris Johnson should have died of COVID when he was sick. She wrote something in Guardian newspaper. Now she's with the lesbians in California. So this is a rat. Yeah? We are discussing a vagabond. Yeah? Then she has an enabler here. That's the one, Bado, tunafuata. That Professor Mwangi.
Assuming there was...
And don't forget, it's a lady judge who ruled against them. A very strict one.
Yes.
Ida Obura.
Yes.
Yeah. They gave my case to a hard woman judge.
Margaret Ida Obura. Yes.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She has a sterling reputation. She's very hard on those men things.
Right.
But during the course of the hearing, I think even her, she was like, her ruling was a very devastating one for them. 27 pages.
And in any case, I think the court has spoken, innocent of all charges. And not only that,
the court didn't speak that I was innocent of charges.
I'm not a lawyer, so please,
so
please bear with me.
They didn't. My case didn't get to court when
Yes.
they had accused me.
Yeah.
Because the CID found it to be malicious.
Yes.
Even the agenda desk.
Yes.
So they were found guilty. Not that I was innocent of all charges. That was never entered.
It was never an issue.
If you talk about court,
Yeah.
I took them to court and they were found guilty of gross libel.
Yes.
and malicious defamation.
I see.
Yeah.
And charge 9 million shillings.
Yes.
Now, what I'm trying to get at in this, this is a country of handshakes.
Yes.
Would you be willing to go into a handshake with Shailja if she apologized and you say, okay, you know what? Your 9 million shillings, what I can. Kama umesema pole.
First,
Sawa.
Shailja can never apologize.
Yes.
She's a maniac.
Right.
So megalomaniacal,
Yeah.
messianic, racist, yeah, and a feminazi. There's no feminism there. Second, I could never shake that bitch's hand. I call Wambui the witch. I call her the bitch. So the witch and the bitch. Yeah? So no, I can never shake anybody's hand like that. Yeah? Or bury an hatchet. I would rather bury her. Shailja belongs in Langata Women's Prison.
Okay.
She even did contempt of court after that.
Oh, really?
So if she ever comes back,
Yeah.
we'll get an arrest warrant for her. Yes. Shailja belongs in jail.
I guess
It's one of those creatures.
Yes.
Yeah? She should be doing her poetry
Yeah.
in jail.
And the
And
professor.
she can write. You know the answer.
Yeah.
No, the professor should pay those. We are pursuing her. Yeah. And we'll pursue her
Yes.
unto the grave.
Okay.
You know, in law, hata ukikufa,
Yes.
so long as you have property and so on. So the same way I chased for 5 years
Yes.
for that justice, we are on her neck.
Sawa.
Atalipa.
Atalipa.
Yes. She has assets, she's trying dodges here and there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
She went out of her way to prosecute an issue that she was not even a witness to.
To persecute,
To prosecute and
not prosecute. As we'll
But she
prosecute.
prosecuted you on Twitter. So,
Oh yeah, kangaroo court.
Yeah.
Yes,
very well. That's clarified.
Yes.
Let's put that on the side.
yes.
I want to ask you some technical questions about, I'm sure you'll love this, okay? It's like quick fire. What is your process when you are writing?
Okay. I do outlines like a lawyer, like I'm arguing a case. A book is an argument. It's a story. It's a plot. So I first figure what do I want to write about. Then I put out outlines. I plot it, I put outlines, and I put deadlines on each of them. I say I have to have finished this by then. I have to have done 60 pages in 1 month. So I say, that means I have to write like 2 pages a day.
Right.
Yeah.
And a page is approximately how many words?
A page can be like 700 words,
Okay.
800.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So around 1,500 or so.
So, what comes first for you? Is it the plot or the characters?
That's interesting. Depends on what I'm writing. But normally, plot drives characters.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think, because I'm like, plot is the vehicle. Characters are the drivers.
Okay.
So plot.
Plot first.
Yes. Yes, what's your plot?
Okay.
Then it will determine who's going to feature.
All right.
Yes.
When you're writing, what do you drink?
I never drink when I'm writing.
Oh, you write sober?
Yeah. I write sober.
Edit drunk.
Yeah. Who said that? Wasn't it Hemingway?
Actually, it's Hemingway,
Yeah,
but it's the other way around. Write
and I
drunk,
say, yeah,
edit sober.
yeah, edit
So
sober,
you write sober and edit drunk.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah. Because I write really early in the morning.
Yes.
I write like mostly 3-4. It's my most creative time.
Right.
So that's when I write.
Uh-huh.
You can. But then I might be hungover. Sometimes I'm hungover.
Yeah.
But I don't drink at that time.
Okay.
And
fine.
in the evening I can't write.
Yeah.
Evening is a time to have a pint.
Yeah, exactly. So you write in the morning or?
I write very early in the morning. The creative stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like what time? 4 a.m., 5 a.m.?
Yeah, no, like 3, 4. Yeah.
Okay.
If I do 5 on a weekday, nimechelewa.
Okay. Book covers. What goes into the book cover?
Or a book cover.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a publisher. Some insist.
It's nothing to do with you.
No, they'll often give you like a heads up, like
Okay.
like this, but not all of them. Some have chosen, like this one, like 2063. It's the Salvador clock.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you can recognize. So I chose this.
Okay.
This one I thought is very placid. Students will like this. So
Yes.
I got this. It's me who chose this design, and this one. We had a photographer.
Okay. If you could invite 3 people for dinner, 3 writers for dinner, whom would you invite?
Michael Corder. That's easy. Michael
Who's
Corder.
that?
Michael Corder.
Yes.
Michael Corder wrote the greatest book I've ever read in terms of the most interesting. And yes, it's a memoir. It's called Another Life.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a publisher and a writer.
Number 2?
Yeah. And it's so interesting. Yeah. It's fascinating. Number 2, no doubt about it, Ernest Hemingway. Yeah. Not even for conversation.
Yeah.
I would love, that's a dead writer. I would love to have a drink.
I know. I know. Same here.
Yes. And the third one, I assume you're talking about dead writers.
It's up to you. Dead, alive, it's up to you.
Then the third one would have to be like between Joseph Brodsky and Vladimir Nabokov. It's a toss-up.
Now we have to go into local writers. Give me 3 local writers.
That I would invite.
Yeah.
But I'm always drinking with local writers.
Fine, who are they?
So like Biko Zulu. Yeah. Okay, I'm not always drinking with him, but you know, it's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
I like whatever. There's yourself.
Of course.
Yes. Yeah.
We are already
So,
drinking
yes.
together.
Yeah. No, this is an invitation for you to have at least a month.
Absolutely.
And I would love to have Binyavanga back one last time at his best.
Yeah.
I wish that one, I would love to go back in time or bring him forward.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's Binyavanga. Yeah.
If you didn't write for a living.
And wait.
Yeah.
Then I must say this. So the guys are just people are thinking, oh, this guy is just men, but it's because it's a drink.
Yeah, of course.
My 2 favorite books in the world are by women.
Okay.
Fiction.
Yeah.
They're both by women.
Yeah.
Arundhati Roy at sentence level in The God of Small Things was a goddess. The greatest book I've ever read at sentence level. At plot level and story level, Barbara Kingsolver, The Poisonwood Bible, is the greatest book I've ever read at big picture level.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. If you are not a writer now, what should you be doing for a living?
I'll be a lawyer, but I'll be a miserable one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be, like my friends, like, classmates like Nelson, Harvey.
Yes.
There are these guys who sort of just reveling in the law.
Yeah.
I'll be a lawyer.
Yes.
I'll probably be a good lawyer.
Yes.
I've been in court many times, even on behalf of the people. But
yeah. Which of your books should we turn into a movie?
that's a great question.
Yes.
That's actually a really
Time
really
is against
good
our side. I have
Yes.
like 40 great questions.
So, Princess Adis and the Niger Coca Brothers.
I see.
It's the most cinematic.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the most cinematic, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you finish a book, how do you celebrate?
Oh, no, I normally don't.
Yeah.
I feel very happy.
Yeah.
But when a book comes out, when I first see the first copy,
Yeah.
I celebrate by hugging the book and ordering for a bottle of Grey Goose vodka.
Very well.
Yeah.
2 final questions. If you had the power to cure one disease, right? Because when you write novels, you play God, right? So if you are writing a book about the world and you could get rid of a disease, which one would it be?
Definitely HIV/AIDS.
Okay.
Definitely HIV/AIDS.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've had without expanding too much, but I've had like a family member.
Yes.
And I've had like like a friend. It's the one that I've seen from our generation. It's the one that I've seen that has caused a bit of devastation to And I must add, the current book I'm writing, it's funny you should ask that. It's still a notebooks, but it's called Quarantine Street. Yeah? And it's a story of not just Corona, yeah, but through short stories. Yeah, hopefully they open up. But it has right during the Black Plague in Venice in 1350. So it's a story of like Ebola. So I've written about like Zambia story. I've written about like AIDS in a story called Saba Saba Day, AIDS in the 90s. But hopefully they're dark, funny stories. Yeah, and I think it's going to be. I think it's a very amazing.
So that's what's coming up next.
Yes, coming up next.
Sawa sawa.
And you know I write.
You had it
longhand.
first.
Yeah. You had it first.
Yeah.
I do write in longhand, and then it's typed.
Right.
Yeah, I don't type.
So that's your process.
Yes.
I
Yes.
see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Can I read something from here?
Please do.
So this is an apartment under quarantine, lockdown, so there are many inhabitants. But I've just opened on Sunday, the 19th of April, 2020, Solo Tricolo resolved to lay off the laying. After all, it was the Lord's Day. Instead, he sat with cans of Atlas 16% proof booze on his couch and watched the All Soccer channel on 2 or 3 goals of the season. A Jurgen Klopp interview, Arsenal versus Sunderland, 0-7-8 season, Newcastle United versus Man U, 2002-2003 season. At 12:30 p.m. he said, "Fuck football. I made a call to a woman he had last slept with 7 years ago. I never intended to see her again, but I'd never deleted her number from his phone. Not because of rainy day philosophy, but because he could never bring himself to block, delete, left, and follow anyone or anything, which is why he was still in so many WhatsApp groups where he never said a word, yet didn't mute. Yeah, go figure." Trisha came shortly before curfew, having panted up the 5 floors of staircase. A patch of sweat stained her light blue t-shirt under one armpit. As he gave her the sanitizer, he marveled at how big, chubby, fat she had gotten over the years. Oh yeah, he had sort of bumped her out of his life. Now he remembered, because she had gotten bumped up by some country bumpkin back then.
Okay then.
Yes.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Staccato fire. You know, it reads like staccato fire. You know, like like an Uzi. Pa, pa, pa,
Yeah,
pa, pa.
that's fantastic. Yeah.
Very well.
Yes.
As we close.
Yes.
And obviously, like I told you earlier, we need 2 interviews. One is not enough. Okay. I've like skipped over so much content, but it's okay. Tell me your best memories of Binyavanga Wainaina. The great Binyavanga.
Yes. We are on a street,
Yeah.
I'm on a street.
Yeah.
4 a.m. in Russia. The sun is already coming up because it's the long white nights. Yeah? It's July 2005. And I'm sort of on this narrow street. I'm sort of lost. And I'm on vodka. I'm lost in St. Petersburg. I've taken a turn through the Dragon Bridge. I remember taking a wrong turn out of some club. And when I'm walking, I'm just walking, I hear from some funny courtyard, I hear a booming voice saying, not Bina Wanga Wanga, my name is Bina Vanga, Wainaina. So I go there, and Bina Vanga there's this drunk lady who's like 70 years old, who looked like she was a great beauty in her time. And she's holding Binya's hands. She's small, and Binya is fat, and they're holding hands, and she's singing him, "You are my chocolate boy." A song from, I think, like 1973, when she must have been gorgeous. And that's my favorite memory.
And that's a true story.
That's a true story. Yeah.
The absolute last question. I would have loved for us to go into politics, but we'll do that later. Wahome Mutahi, Whispers. On the 22nd of July this year will be the 18th anniversary of his death. What do you remember about his impact on our literary scene, or what do you think of him?
First, I knew his whole family from the St. Patrick. to Muthoni Wahome.
Pajero.
Pajero, the Paj.
The Paj.
You can work with her in Pulse. Yeah, wonderful girl.
Yes.
So I think that, especially for like columnists,
Yes.
he sort of gave people permission because he was the most widely read. And it was like humor and characters, like it was mini literature. He's the one who opened the doors for characters like Smita. Yeah? He gave us permission to fictionalize a bit of your life, or factionalize rather. To factionalize your experiences and share them, and they find fertile landing ground.
All right. To a home Mutahi.
To a home Mutahi.
Cheers.
To a home Mutahi.
Cheers.
Yeah, forever. And they should name a road after him.
Absolutely.
The story of naming Siji Atuoli,
Eh.
pays for a road, then the sign is being burnt down every night.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should
Sawa,
respect our writers more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been an honor. See you next time.
Me too, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. PK. Yeah?
The air rocker.
Yes, the air rocker.
Yes.
Yes.
Eh.
Yeah.
Next time we talk about air guitar.
We'll talk about those things. Maybe
you know.
we'll even do we'll do an air guitar contest.
Yes.
Then you cover it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
On your channel. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Seriously, actually,
Sawa.
why not? Yeah.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. We need to do take a couple of pictures.